longer to set up than I thought. Bring this down a little bit more. Sorry about that. I'm just waiting on the stream to come up over here, and I gotta listen. So sorry about that again. Okay. Dang, that mouse is loud, isn't it? Hi, Tank. Okay, finally. I'm going to move that in a little bit more so we can see a little bit better. There we go. There we go. Okay. Ooh, I don't need to hear myself. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm just working on some Christmas, some squares I need to do for a Christmas project. I do not like how this mic is in my face, but I'll deal with it, right? Good morning, Stevan. This is take 2. First time I tried to go from my actual PC, and YouTube really downgraded the video and made it all fuzzy, and yeah, it was ridiculous. Hey, Andy. Uh-oh, what did I do? I got stuff tangled. How did I do that? Oh, probably when I was moving. Give me 1 minute to readjust. Boom. Oh, you know what's even easier is just take the yarn and flip it over. There we go. That's a lot easier. Hope your day's going well. Ooh, cutting okra. Yeah, we're gonna have just tacos tonight. I didn't cook last night. I went to bed around noon. I haven't been able to sleep for the past few days because of this flare-up. It's been making it feel like I broke my leg. So I haven't really been sleeping a lot, maybe 4 hours a day for the past 4 days or so. And then yesterday, I went to bed to get some pressure off my leg and, prop it up. Fell asleep at around noon, and then next thing I know, it's midnight when I wake up. And I'm like, uh-oh. Oh well, Panda just had to fend for himself for one night. And tonight I decided tacos. I wanted taco salads, but I couldn't find the taco shells that the big bowl. All they had is the ones out of corn, and I don't like corn. So I don't like anything made from corn. I wanted the flour ones, and nobody had them available, so I'm like, oh well, it's still going to be tacos. Let's see. Hi, Chris. I don't know why YouTube is doing this now to me. They're messing up names. So, Christine, hi. Oh, thank you. I've been up since, I woke up at midnight. I did some editing on the Halloween bag that I made, and my eyes were staring at that screen, looking at the editing and all that kind of starts hurting my eyes. So I was like, I'm going to do some crochet for now to give my eyes a break. Plus I need the sun to get a little bit stronger outside because I need to put the bag in direct sunlight to give it a really good charge for the glow in the dark for the picture. So that way I can have, because this yarn, even for the little bit of charge that I did give it, when me and Panda were looking at the bag, that yarn was pretty much the brightest glow in the dark I have seen before. So it's, but I want to set it outside and get a real good charge, and I'm waiting for a little bit later on so I can set it out back in the backyard and let it get some really good sun on it. Hi Fuzzy. Hi Demetria. Ooh, working on a prayer shawl. Awesome. Let's see. My eyes are, yeah, it's kind of blurry from watching that editing for hours. Hope everybody's doing good. I wanted to watch Michi's Members Live last night. I just watched the replay. I told Google to wake me up at 6. I told my phone to wake me up at 6. The alarms just went off, and I guess I hit snooze without knowing I hit snooze. I guess I needed it. But I'm just, like I said, because what the plan is making these squares. They're 5 inches across, and they're going to end up turning into a Christmas stocking. Hi, Carol. Oh, nice, Tank. Very nice. Me and Panda's been kind of marking the yarn that we want to get for, the Black Friday sales. Because I still have my free shipping from Hirschner's for being a member. Get to use it once a year, and I still haven't used it. And we've been slowly putting back money for the yarn, because especially now that they're carrying Big Twist, we want to stock up on a lot of solids, because the plans that I have needs a lot of solids. Ooh, a doily. And hi Tina, or Tracy, I'm sorry. And making stuff up as you go, in my opinion, they turn out to be the better patterns. Like this, I just envisioned it in my head, and then I'm been crocheting the squares, and I'm like, I'm winging it. Most of the things I do, I literally just wing it to see if it'll work, and 99% of the time so far, everything's worked except for one. Hi, Wendy. Hope you're doing well, sweetheart. And just sitting here, I had nothing to do. I did dishes and little chores I can do around the house. So I was like, oh, my eyes need a break from editing. I don't know how Mikey or some of those that put out a lot of content can sit there and, why am I splitting this yarn? What is going on? Can sit there with their eyes being so messed up. Like, it messes my eyes up. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, and I will be cutting down on my lives here. I know I've gone live a lot this week. But I'm going to be busting out here as soon as I literally get this Christmas, or not Christmas, oh my gosh, Michael, Halloween tote bag done video out. Then I am going to be busting out a mess ton of Christmas stuff and getting it edited and getting it uploaded and ready to go to be released, because I need to buy me some time to frog my holiday jamboree blanket prototype, and then adjust some of the stitches on the pattern, and then work it up on camera. And yes, please, if you like the stream, what you're seeing, please go ahead and double tap the screen to give a like. Be greatly appreciated. But no, the first stream I tried to do, I was trying to go from my PC, and like I said, I don't know, I've never gone straight from my PC without using StreamYard, and I was trying to see how the YouTube studio aspect of that worked, and it was like really downgrading the video quality of my camera that I use for filming, and I'm like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna be sitting here for an hour or more looking like that. And that was even hurting my eyes even more sitting here watching it, because right, like this I'm using my iPad right now. My phone wasn't charged, and the way my iPad is sitting, I can't see the screen. Oh my goodness. And I have my monitor here and a monitor right there. Both of them got, one has the stream up so I can read the chat, and the other one has nothing up on it. Hi, Vicky. And you know, Tank, a lot of that I think is the updates they're trying to roll out for the creators. You know, like they're trying to roll out one that you have to go through their online, not the app, but their studio on the website. Go live from that, and it'll do. You got to start out horizontal, but it'll also dual stream you to vertical. And I think that is having some issues, and some of the other stuff that they're putting out, it's just, I don't know. I just saw when I woke up at midnight. One of my things I like to daily do is in the morning or whenever I'm waking up, is to scroll Reddit, and I saw a lot of complaints about YouTube being down yesterday, and some weird issues going on. Yeah, Demetria, the Panda has to do that too. Hey, Vicky. And he has to verify it, and he's been kind of iffy on verifying. I'm like, look, it's an easy, quick little process, and because he wants to put the Etsy shop constantly in the his description, and the only way around that is, like I told him, you have to verify. I need to move this up a little bit, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna be moving, y'all, just so I can get a little bit more comfortable here. Oh, that is so much more comfortable. Now, let me get this. Oh my goodness. I'm using Hirschner's acrylic yarn for this. I'm not using my cotton that I got. But I'll show y'all the Halloween bag that's done. And it's done with Dee's Creative Hands dyed yarn, hand-dyed yarn. But this is all glow in the dark. And it's a trick-or-treat candy bag. And, you know, I made it to where it's cinched top. And then there's a strap, so the child can put it over their shoulder, and they're not gonna have to worry about people stealing it. And as soon as I get the pictures later tonight, I gotta box it up and get it to Amelia, because she won it in a giveaway along with, what is my blanket? Sorry, I have a heating blanket sitting on my legs too. She won it along with one of the Yarn Inspirations mystery. Hi, Melinda. Mystery boxes, because we've got a mess ton of them. Because, you know, whenever they had that thing going on, they sent out lots to people. So she won one of those along with that bag. And it's, like I said, it's, you know, hand-dyed cotton yarn from Pima Cotton from Dee's Creative Hands, which is beautiful, by the way. And then Panda received some special yarn from her. I can't show it off because it's wool, and I'm allergic to wool. I'm not allergic to lanolin. I'm actually allergic to the actual fibers of wool. If I breathe them in, it starts closing my airways. And then if I get the actual wool fibers on me, it breaks me out in massive hives. Windy, right? Hi, Lydia. Normalize adults. Like I was talking to Panda about, you know, the Black Friday sales the day after Thanksgiving, and he goes, "That's not my Black Friday. My Black Friday sales are the day after Halloween. All that candy goes on deep sale." He's like, "That's my Black Friday." Because normally Michael does go crazy getting the candy afterwards, because I mean they go on 50, 60, 75% off. Might as well grab it, you know. But if there's anything y'all want to talk about, I was just sitting here, Panda's at work, and I was watching, because I finished all the Downton Abbey episodes again, and all the movies, including the new one. And then I started a new TV show called Poldark on Netflix. Oh, did I mess up? Give me 1 second. Did I mess up? I didn't finish what I normally would finish. Yarn over and go back through as a knit. I don't know why that's what is my normal stopper. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of candy. Literally, Panda makes fun of me. He calls me an old man because this is literally the only candy I have in here. So Werther's Originals. I love them. And gum. But that's the only candy I have in here. I'm not a big sweets person. I'd rather, you know, my snacks be, you know, carrot sticks or broccoli, but of course add the extra fatness to it and dip them in ranch. But I just don't, I'm not a big candy person. Never have been. Now Panda, on the other hand, if it's got chocolate, he's eating it. He's a, oh my gosh, he loves chocolate. So you can never go wrong with chocolate with anything for him. So every time I get ice cream, you know, I change up his so he doesn't get burnt out, but it's some sort of chocolate. Exactly, Wendy. I love them. I'm not a fan of the chewy ones, but I like the hard Werther's Originals. You know, because it helped me with my nicotine habit that I used to have, and you know it's just become a habit now. And then I don't know what it is about them, but they also help with like hunger cravings. I mean, I don't eat a lot, and like right now, like I haven't even eaten breakfast, but Vicky, but you know, and if I get hungry and I want something, I'll heat up some broth and put it in my little canister, and you know, I got a nice hot thing of broth, which I just drink. Chicken broth, or I change it to bone broth. I don't know. I like broth. Moby, is this where I find tables? What do you mean by that? But, yeah. Did I mess up? No. Oh, yeah, I haven't been able to watch a lot of people lately. Like, I was getting that bag filmed, and then before that, man, that 2 month long flare up was just, it hurt really bad, and I couldn't sit here. That's why then from August and September, not really much came out because I couldn't sit at my filming table or desk because I have a big wooden U desk. I say U, but it's more like block shaped, and I normally like my PC and stuff sit here, and this side, which we're on, is my filming side, and my desk underneath is actually pretty glossy. So this is actually wallpaper, vinyl wallpaper, to help with the gloss. We had one that was very like both of them loved broth, especially like when we got our really bitter cold because they neither one of them at the time. Well, they didn't have that long winter hair. They were short haired, but we would heat up broth to room temperature or maybe just a tad warmer and give them a bowl of broth, and they loved it, especially on those cold winter night days. Man, did they love it. But they really, really, both of them loved ice. I think they always saw me getting ice a lot, and they just thought they were having a human treat. They didn't realize it was a frozen form of something they drink all the time. And then, like, we never had issues with them taking pills. I know, like with some dogs, you got to hold their mouth all open or hide the medication or whatever. No, they took medication like it was just like it was a treat. Water cookies. Oh yes. So we made the mistake one time of calling the dog whenever Cinnamon. This was when she was still young. I'd say 15, 14 or 13 years ago. Made the mistake of calling them cookies for a couple of times. Well, and then when Panda's like, so that stuck. Dog treats were cookies, but we didn't realize it that we made that mistake because I would be like, Tony or Panda would be like, hey, Michael, can you grab me a few cookies? And then she'd go crazy. And then she caught on. She was a smart dog. She caught on that we used to give her a treat every time she went outside to do her business, and to reinforce, hey, you're doing the right thing. But she caught on that we were doing that, so she would literally want to go outside to fake pee. She would fake pee because I had them on set treat times, and she would go outside to fake pee just so she could get a treat earlier than normal. Hi, Vima. Actually, I'm gonna do something over here. I think I can't. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Come on, come on, come on. YouTube is slow. I'm gonna do that just because I can. I need a drink. And welcome to all the new members. Oh my goodness. Tell you what though, making these squares does get really monotonous because they're just simple right now. Well, the standards, well, the simple stitch, but there's no actual set pattern to them. but I want to make sure my idea actually works. So I didn't want to do anything fancy. Let's see. Pardon me. We trained ours that if they were good for medical issues, they get cookies, so they still sit. Oh, they sit. Oh, and ear cleaning because snacks. We used to, for the nail clipping, we always had issues with the older one, or the female, Cinnamon, and we had to end up putting, saran wrap around her forehead and putting peanut butter to keep her busy. Neither one of them didn't mind baths. She, because she was a water dog, she loved the bath. There would be times that she would crawl, if we left the bathroom door open while we were taking a shower, she would try to jump into the shower. And she would do that all the time. But then when it rained, she wouldn't go outside. And if we forced her to go out because we know that she needed to go and we had to force her to go out, she would literally, I have never seen a dog tiptoe but her. She would tiptoe to go out. But most of the time, she would back her rear end off of the patio and do her business. And we're like, this dog. But the other one, the boy, he loved getting wet, and then he would get his feet all wet, and then we'd open the patio door, and he would come, because we have wooden floors, he would come running in and then just purposely slide. And he would do that. He loved doing that. It's like, that's just like a 5-year-old, one of us, that sliding down. Remember, like if you had wooden hallways, sliding down the hallway in your socks. Like, oh my gosh, he loved it. I need to adjust this. I can't see too much. Oh, is that better? Oh, heck yeah. Sorry. I am so sorry for all the camera moving. Everything is literally kind of a new setup. I'm using this really cool arm thing. Did I get it from Amazon? Let me look. Because I think if you're a creator, this arm thing is awesome to have. I don't know if I got it. I'm going to look at my Amazon. I need to move it over here so I can see it. Okay, now I can use this mouse. But this arm thing is awesome. Where is my orders? Past, I don't really know. I don't think I got it this year, did I? No. I don't know where I got it from then. Oh, I do too. I got it from AliExpress. But this thing is just, wow. Hi Sparkle. How are you doing? And it clamps down, has a nice hard clamp, and it's got 4 positions you can move the spring arm to. And then it has an extender, and it's got a wide enough base to where I can actually fit my iPad on it. No worries, Mary, no worries. We love our lurkers. And you're welcome. It holds my phone or my iPad. I can't even see that. Sorry, let me get this. Hi, Dia. And Vicky, I do too. Me and Panda were talking about how we miss having our doggies. And it's sad that they both passed it in the same year. But, one continuously had strokes one night, and then we can do about that. And then the other one just old age. She was 15, and her breed normally lives to about 10 or 12. Oh, Sandy. Okay. So YouTube is showing, you know, normally it shows channel names, but now it's showing the @ handles. Weird. I've only had that happen once on mine. I don't know why now all of a sudden they're like, hey. Oh, I need to count how many rounds I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more after this. And that'll be 5 inches. I've already measured it with my very first one. But hey, baby doll, there's my honey buns. Yeah, Wendy, it was hard, but you know, like especially with Taz, the first one to go back in February, he was in almost every one of my lives because he was my shadow. If I went live and I had to shut the door, he would sit at the door and you would hear him whining to get in because he had to be by me all the time. And then never fails, when I went live, he would want loving. And he was such a lovable shadow. And we called him Taz because whenever he was young, or puppy, he made noise. Like he was very vocal, and he made those noises of like Taz from the cartoon, the Tasmanian Devil. And, and he would be sassy. And we had him from a very, I think he was like 6, 7, maybe 8. Hey, Dola Joe, sorry. Yeah, that first live just didn't, I wasn't feeling it. It was blurry, and I don't know what was going on. I did not like it, so I had to start over. But and the way we potty trained him is we got one of those, he had 2 beds. He had 2 puppy beds. One that was in the living room where he would sleep during the day, and then at night he had one that we had in the bed with us between me and Panda with our hand underneath it. Both of our hands were underneath that thing. That way, if we felt him move, we got up and took him outside, regardless. You know, that's how we trained him. And then we were like proud papas when he finally, instead of squatting or just spreading his legs to pee, when he finally hiked his leg, we're like, yes! And me and Panda were talking about that, Vicky. We don't know right now if we will. You know, it's still too soon, and it's just one of those that right now we don't really know. As much as I would love to, it's just one of those I think it would be right now too hurtful. Yeah, it'd be pretty hurtful. And wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this will be the 7th, and then I'll start closing off. Now you see me using all these different hooks, but I have these over here because instead of taking these apart every time when I need to do the close off, I just have them. This one I broke the edge tip off. I don't know how, but it's just a regular hook now. It can't be, but I bought another set to replace just one hook. I bought a whole new set just to replace that one hook because, yeah. Hello, Dawn. Yeah, Wendy, yeah. Like the first pup dog we had, Panda was overseas. He was stationed overseas. I was stationed at the place we met in 2003. And I'm 25, 26, I think, at the time. I didn't know nothing about shelter dogs. If I did, I would have gotten a shelter dog. But I didn't. I went to a pet store, and I saw this lovable. She came up to me, and she just started rubbing all over me. She was 6 or 7 months, an American Eskimo. White, fluffy thing. Still small, but white, fluffy thing. And that was our first dog together. I got her. Her name was Mo. Because of the Eskimo. And Panda, like I said, Panda was overseas. I got the apartment and everything, and okay, um, I trained her. I trained her to outside and to a pad because I still had to work. I was still working in the operating room at the naval hospital I was at, so I still had to work, and so I trained her to both, just in case. If we got caught up with surgeries and I couldn't get home in time, if she needed to go, she still had a pad to go on. And she was very lovable. She was, oh, this is the, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I need to back out. Back out one more. Boop. And like she was one of those weird dogs that she slept with us. We'd say go to bed, and she'll get in the middle of where me and Panda would sleep, lay on her back with her legs, her front paws up, and you'd have to bring the blanket up to her paws, and she would just sleep there all night long. And she wouldn't move until you moved. And then we moved down here, and my mom, she grew really attached to my mom, so we let her stay with my mom until she passed away at 14, 15 as well. No, she was 16 when she passed away. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. But she was our first dog together. He was in a place that you can only go to if you had military orders. It was an island. He thought it was close to San Diego, but no. It was in the middle of the Indian Ocean. So do y'all have anything planned for this weekend? I don't, besides filming. Hopefully this works out, but I'm not filming this right away. I'm gonna film this in a week or so. I'm just trying to make sure this works. I do gotta mail out some stuff. I gotta mail out the cardigan to my niece, since that's who I made it for. And then I've got to mail out Amelia's package. I'm gonna repackage it because I can see that odd shaped Yarn Inspirations mystery box actually costing more just because of the shape to send. So we're going to repackage that to a smaller package, and then I am going to start start recording a bunch of Christmas stuff this weekend. That's my only plan for the next month, is busting out a bunch of Christmas stuff. Small stuff that won't take a lot of time. It's not a blanket, it's not scarves. Well, there is going to be a scarf in it, but it's not going to be something that's going to take you a week or two to do. It's going to be stuff you can get done in a couple of hours, and be useful for the holidays, especially if you use holiday colors. I mean, this is part of a stocking, and it takes 13 of these. In my head, 13 is the magic number. That's why I'm working them up, because I really don't know if that is the magic number. Hi, Jan. Thank you, Dawn. They're just, I just, it's a Christmas stocking, so it's, use Christmas colors. And this one is, just red and green. It's Hirschner's red and green, because I just don't know if it's going to work out with what I have in my head. So I just grabbed the two nearest red and greens that I had and went, okay, let's do this. But I'm going to be technically working up 3, I think. 2 or 3, I'm not sure. I want to do one in the simple. What did I do there? That was not right. That was not right. I felt that being wrong. I'm going to work one in the simple stitch, the knit stitch, because the knit stitch, when you work them up in the squares, it actually hides the return pass. So I want to see how I can make that look. Okay, Sherry, you have a great day. And thank you for being here, sweetheart. And then I need to look at my pattern that I wrote for this circle, and that's Tunisian, because I want to break it down and change colors and kind of make it Christmassy, you know. That's what my goal is with this. Right now, it serves a purpose. Right now, it's a train coaster for me. It's a coaster. I hope everybody's having good weather too, though. I mean, we've been kind of mild here. I'm not looking forward to the winter though, because we've had such a mild summer. I am dreading the winter. Yeah, Jan, I wrote down the pattern for the circle, because I actually want to turn it into, well, I'm going to do some stuff with it for Christmas, but I actually want to take the circle and turn it into a blanket. And then I also want to take that same circle and turn it into, oh, what are those flower bouquet things? Oh, Andy. Um, those flower bouquets, I want to see, because I can do Tunisian flowers, but I don't know if it's going to be, because, you know, the whole nature of Tunisian being really thick, if it's going to be too thick or not. I'm not 100% positive. So I want to play with it and double check. Uh-oh. Okay, game. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I want to turn it into a bouquet, and then there's a 8-point star blanket that's done this the way I'm working right now in the round that I am going to be doing too. Uh-oh. I got somebody at the front door. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna put my little sign out for a second, if I can find it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna put my sign out. Boop. One moment. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry. It was a siding salesman for siding. And it's like, I look at him and I look at our walls, because our walls are, our house is brick. Who would want to put siding over, oh, I need to trim that, over brick? Not me. All right, how many is that? 5, 10. Oh, this is the last one for this colorway. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Vicky. I said, hi, Tammy. Let's, okay, tighten down. I gotta make the magic circle. I like to do this because it makes it so much easier when I close the circle to know where my first one's at. Well, see, we have a thing on our door that, like, literally before you even push our doorbell or knock or anything, it says no solicitors. 99% of the time it works. It's 2, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 99% of the time it works. Now, I don't know why. It's like we have all brick. Who covered, like, our brick is beautiful. Why would I want to cover that up or paint? You know, we had neighbors across the street that painted their brick, and their brick was even prettier than ours. And I'm like, geez, why would you paint over it? Okay, now move that to that very first one so I knew where I'm at. It's 2. It's 3. It's 4, 5, 6. Sorry. 7, 8. If I don't count, 9, 10, 11, that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. Hi, Denise. If you weren't expected or invited, ring doorbell. Oh my goodness. That is a funny sign. And we normally don't hand out Halloween candy because we don't really get trick-or-treaters here. They go to what we call the rich neighborhood because those people give out the king size candies and stuff. So a lot of people go there. And they rarely come to the normal neighborhood, you know. They always go to the, what we all, oh my goodness, I need to move this camera before I hit it again. And there. That was my filming camera. If I was probably going to bump it again if I didn't watch it. So they go over there to get the good candies. Heck, when I was a kid, we did that. So I understand, you know. You gonna get the fun size bars, or do you want the king size bars? They hand out the king size bars. There was one in the very, very, what we call the rich neighborhood, and like those houses go for $750,000 or more. And when I was a kid, they had the little, like, you know, those little plastic dome things that you put in the vending machine and you pop it open and you get a little toy out of it. But they've always had like $2 bills in there. And I'm like, you are literally handing out $2 bills to every kid that comes. Oh my goodness, you got money to throw away. Please let me have some. But there's a few houses. During Christmas, I think I want to this year when I go for a drive over there and go live or just record it, because those houses over there, those neighborhoods go all out, and it's just fun. Everything that they do, their decorations are just out of this world in that neighborhood. And it's the historic neighborhood here, and I mean, historic for us is 100 years old, because Amarillo is not that old of a town. I'd say, I think it was founded like 150 years ago, give or take. 1, 2, and 3. And I am stretching this. I should have already done a return pass, but there we go. And parents drive their kids to houses that are registered neighborhood out. Yeah, they do that too. Yeah. And then the churches here do that, the whole trunk or treat. I get, the times change. People, you got a lot of weirdos out there, and times have changed. But, I think the whole joy of going trick-or-treating when we were kids is going door to door, seeing all the other costumes of kids walking, and this knocking on the door, going up to the door, and you think it's a scarecrow, but it's somebody in somebody in overfilled stuffed clothing to make it look like they're a scarecrow. That's the stuff I found exciting as a kid, going trick-or-treating. And kids, because of weirdos, kids miss out on that now, because that was fun, seeing, dressing up in your costume, going on these, your parents park at one corner, or you're in your own neighborhood, and you're just walking and walking and seeing all the costumes and seeing the houses. I think that was very, very awesome. Back then, that was fun. It was, I don't know, you looked forward to it. But nowadays, it's, you got to be very careful, especially with, the laced candies, it's, yeah, and the weirdos. But, oh, come on. Trying to do this return pass. And I'm not worried about the tails, weaving them in right now. I'm going to weave them in as soon as I get this last one done. And then I'm going to use my little peggy board and make sure they're all squared. Mama C! Oh my gosh, I am so sorry I missed your live yesterday. I was telling them yesterday, I haven't been sleeping a lot, but yesterday I went to lay down at around noon. I didn't wake up till midnight, and I missed everything. And I know when I woke up Sunday, Panda was telling me about your live, and he loves your new hairdo. He really loves your new hairdo. So do I. And I'm glad you had you had a good time on your trip. We did miss you. I won't tell nobody you're on lunch. We'll be quiet. No. Oh my goodness, you guys. I know with me and Panda, we're talking about the Christmas live, and he's down in the dumps because I really don't think I'm going to be able to do it because of the way that this, like if the CRPS was just restricted to my left leg, yes, I could do it. But now that back in March, it moved to my right leg, and the way these flare-ups have been working, I can't guarantee nothing anymore. And, you know, I've been getting invites to go onto people's lives, and I don't want to say yes, and then five minutes, oh, what did I do here? Oh, nothing. Woo, that scared me. Hi, Sharon, welcome. Peeking in from the trees. But I don't want to say yes, and then 5 minutes before the live, you know, a flare-up happens, and then I can't control it. And with this right leg, the way these flare-ups have been feeling, like right now, I'm got one. It's on the way out again. It started Sunday night, I believe, and it started making it just feel like I've re-broke my leg. I can deal with that. I can deal with that pain. The one I couldn't deal with was the one that made me feel like I was having my knee surgery all over again. That started in August and lasted until the end of September. That one I couldn't, oh my gosh. But I just don't know with this leg. And I don't want to commit to something that I know can get messed up because of my condition. And, you know, so I just don't know anymore. So I had to not do organize the Christmas live like I wanted to because of that. Now I may, if I have time to learn it, I don't have time to learn it this year, but learn how each one kicks off, then I can try to do it again for next year. But this year I just not going to be able to, because I just don't know with this leg, and it drives me nuts. But you know, it is what it is, and we just got to keep moving. As long as you're moving, you're still here. Hi, Amber. Oh, that's awesome, sweetheart. Amber. And yeah, Six Girl, I thought about that. Like I was invited on to Craig's this Friday, and he knows the whole thing. He's like, you know, I understand. He knows my whole condition. We chat a lot, and he knows that with my condition, things can change last minute. And he just says, well, you know, if you're good, I wouldn't mind having you up, and if you're in a flare up, I totally understand. He knows. You know, it's just, and that's just like with me with my lives as well. They're all over the place just because I don't know how I'm gonna feel. And I do get you get that itch to go live. You get that itch to just be live. And I get that itch, and there's days I get that itch and I know I cannot do it. My mind would not be focused, and yeah. And it is. Yes, Amber, it's getting to look a lot like Christmas. So I'm trying, yeah, like I was telling them, I'm making 13 of these squares. Then I have the pattern in my head. I'm hoping it works out this way. But the way you combine them and sew them together, it looks like, you know, it'd be a Christmas stocking. Yeah, is it snowing where you are yet? Because I know, oh, what is her name? Freehandly made Nisi. Excuse me. She got snow just the other day, and is it Montana she lives in? But way up there, one of those northern states. Hi, Sandra. How are you doing, sweetheart? almost 80 there today. Let's see. Let me pull up. I have to unlock my phone so we can go to the weather app here. Let me turn this down so y'all can see what our temperatures are supposed to be. Oh, come on. We're supposed to be 81 today, but you know, Monday, that's going to hurt. Going from 84 on Monday to 67. And it looks like after Monday is our fall temps are starting to kick in. But that is really going to hurt. That drop. But that's our temperatures. And that's pretty much been kind of our temperatures even there in the summer. Believe it or not. You know, I think normally our area, we have roughly about 35 to 40 days of summer that are 100 plus temps. And you know, that's on par with our desert-like climate here in the Texas Panhandle. And this year, we didn't even get, I think we had a total of 4 days that were over 98 degrees. Most of the summer was very low 90s and high 80s. And then we had a few weeks where we were in like July, the first 3 weeks of July, we didn't even break 80. And you know, we didn't even break 80 for the 3 weeks in September or in July, and that is totally unusual for us. No worries, Sandra. Hugs back to you, sweetheart. Wow, 3 to 4 months. I know we want to move back to New England. The only thing that I'm kind of, because his family lives in New England and New Jersey and Connecticut area, and the only thing that's driving me from not, well, there's the main driving for not moving yet is the cost of living. You know, it is expensive up there, but you know, and of course I love snow. Snow bothers me, don't get me wrong, it bothers my legs, but I love snow. And we get it here from time to time. We get some pretty bad blizzards from time to time and snow from time to time, but nothing like, you know, the New England states or the northern states. And the fall color changes up there in New England is just beautiful. I loved it out there. Well, like Fuzzy, like I never really, because of the humidity, the cold, like here the cold is, we're dry. So when we get those cold fronts and you know, we're always windy. The city we live in, Amarillo, is the windiest in the country. And so we get, when it gets cold, it's that bone cutting cold that hurts you to your bones, you know. The up there with the humidity, it doesn't hurt like it does here, if that makes any sense at all. Oh wow, Wendy. So one place I loved living, or well, I should say stationed at, is in California, is San Diego. I loved San Diego, but that's just one place I don't think I could live because, you know, I like big cities. Don't get me wrong, I love big cities because if it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you want to go do something, you can go do something. You know, whereas here, after around 9 or 10 p.m., even though we are a city of 250,000, the sidewalks still roll up at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., you know, and there's nothing to do. Unless you know, even Walmart's close at midnight here. So that There's nothing to do. There's only one grocery store open, and that's on, for us, it's on the other side of town. Yeah, and San Diego was expensive. Even when I was there, when was I there? I was stationed there in '96. Yeah, in 1996, I was stationed at the Naval Hospital in Balboa Park. I loved it because there was always something to do. If you couldn't sleep at 3 in the morning, you could go out and do something. You know, there was something. They were always open, and or on the weekend you could hop a trolley. 20 minutes later, you're down in Tijuana. That was fun times. Um, Trying to stumble across the border and fool the shore patrol that you're sober. That was some fun times. Yeah, those were the days, Denise, when we could get plastered and still go to work the next day and not be bothered with a hangover. Now it's like you have one drink and you got a hangover. Can't even cope with it no more. It's like, oh. Or you could function off of 2 hours of sleep. Now it's like you get 2 hours of sleep, you still feel like you've had a whole bottle. Oh man, it was like I didn't get in any trouble, but it was fun. I was 18, 19 when I was stationed there, so legal drinking age was still, it was 21 at that time. Well, yeah, it was 21, but you hopped the trolley, and you never went alone. You never went down there alone. But a bunch of us would go down. And legal drinking age in Mexico was 18, and then having to, you know, get your drink and go to the clubs and have fun, and then make your way back and fool shore patrol that you're sober, because otherwise they could get you. And we had that same thing when I was in Okinawa, Japan too. I was 19 when I was stationed there. I was only at Balboa Hospital for a year going through medical school to be a corpsman, a combat medic. And then I went up the road to 29 Palms to learn how to be an actual combat medic. And then from there, I went to Okinawa, Japan. So I was 19 in Okinawa, Japan. I think I turned 20 there. I'm not 100% positive. And legal drinking age was 18 there too. And a bunch of us would go every Friday night, go outside the main gate of Camp Hansen, and you could $10 because of the exchange rate could get you dinner and drunk, and then having to stumble back across for the MPs, because I was at a Marine base, and have them. They were never fooled. I know they weren't fooled. There's no way, with as much as we would drink, that we could actually fool anybody that we were sober. There was just no way. But Marines drink alcohol like it's water, so they knew. But coming back and then still having to walk, I think it was from the main gate to our barracks was like a mile. Ooh, that was a fun mile. I don't know if I could like move to like Michigan, Vicky. I don't know anybody up there. Two, I want Panda to be a little bit closer to his family. We've been living here since 2005, so it's time for him to go home, so to speak. So I've been like looking, or even somewhere that we could take a day trip and be up there in New Jersey. And we've looked at Virginia. I've been stationed at Portsmouth, Virginia, at the Naval Hospital there, and I liked it. Portsmouth was fun. It was a really nice area, and they got some really great restaurants in Portsmouth, Virginia. Oh my gosh. Right outside the main gates of the Naval Hospital in Portsmouth is this place called, oh my gosh, it was named something Browns. Oh my goodness, they had some great food. Like the food, just in general, there is awesome. Yeah, that's what we were thinking, you know, because his brother moved back at the end of last year or summer of last year, moved back to North Carolina. He was stationed there when he was in the Air Force, and then he got out and came up here, and then they just moved back like a year ago, and I personally, I don't want to live in North Carolina. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, which is a Marine Corps base, and my entire time in North Carolina sucked. Okay, sweetheart, Mama C, you have a great nap. I did not enjoy Camp Lejeune at all, and North Carolina, it just burnt me in North Carolina. I don't like it. So when we were talking, I was like, well, we can move to Virginia, and if we pick like Virginia Beach, or you know, because that's a bunch of it's a bunch of cities all connected together anyway. We can move there. We can get access to the Navy bases because I have access to them, and we can actually shop at the commissaries, get groceries, etc., because they're cheaper. You know, but the cost of living is still a little high. But we could jump on I-95, and 4 hours later, you know, be up in New Jersey with his mom. Denise. I mean, I know a few people that, you know, of course, you know, you got Granny D, Nessa. That's the only two I know that live in North Carolina. And then you got Ola Joe up there in Portsmouth, Virginia Beach area. And we've been looking at places, and I told him, I was like, I'm tired of being a homeowner right now. You know, we can sell the house and live in an apartment. As long as it's a first floor apartment, or if they have an elevator, we can live on the top floor. But I'm tired of being a homeowner right now. And the whole thing about being a homeowner, yeah, it's great being a homeowner, don't get me wrong, but if something breaks, it's on you to fix. And that's the only thing, that's what I don't really like. Or getting out there and mowing the yard. Because these people that around out here that do lawn maintenance and stuff, like, we don't have a big lot, and they want like $80 for that. I was like, I remember as a kid, I'd be happy to do it for 10. Yeah, Navy. Ooh, that would be awesome, Wendy. I just, you know, buy a big naval base is what I really would prefer, because I have access to the commissaries, and you get the duty-free stuff, and plus it's cheaper. I can order from the commissaries, but I've never taken advantage of that yet. Like, I've seen some really good deals on, let's say, like, there's one deal that I just saw was a 74-inch TV, I think, or 75, and for $300, and it was a Sony, and I'm like, ooh, but we don't need any more TVs. But yeah, that's the kind of deals you can get at Navy commissaries, or military commissaries, really. And the thing that always baffled me about those commissaries is they would really, really make like tobacco, cigarettes and stuff really pricey, but then they make the alcohol cheap. Oh, we're doing that for your health. Okay, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you're making it to where people can get alcohol cheaper. And in the hospitals, when working in the hospitals, in the emergency room, most of our nighttime cases were alcohol poisoning. Made no sense. But it is what it is. Keep them dumb and drunk. That's the way we always said it. Then they won't realize how pitiful it is to sit there, you know, clean the floors with your toothbrush. No, Vicky, they're actually going to be a stocking. It's the way, like, this is how I have it in my head, is you're attaching them sort of like this to a point, and I believe there's one more row, and then you just kind of make the foot, and you make, it's a, yeah, stocking. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, it just how they're gonna work up together. It's gonna be a Christmas stocking. Because that would be a lot of sewing if this was a blanket, and I don't really like to sew stuff together if I don't really have to. But I'm going to be working up 3. This is just 1, so I can make sure they work. And the 3 different ones are going to actually, it's going to be 2 in the simple stitch and then 1 in the knit stitch, so you can see how you can hide the return pass. And then two of them I'm going to be using for the cuff. I'm going to show you how, you know, you can work up a regular just white yarn crochet cuff, or you could use faux fur yarn for it. Hey Michi, sweetheart. But like, that's it. These blue sets, this part that I'm connecting these 2 hooks with actually comes from that gold set that I have, and it makes it to where I can just actually use, I don't have to have special hooks to create a double-ended, because those double-endeds are usually sometimes too long or too short. Thank you again, Michi, for all the gems. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry I missed your members live. I was sleeping. My 12-hour nap. Literally, it was supposed to only be a few hours. I told the Google to wake me up, and I set my alarm on my phone, but I guess somehow I was too sleepy and I didn't know it. But I told Google to shut up, and I turned my phone off. And I heard about the glitching, and which was weird. And I think it has to do something with all these rollouts that they're doing with the different aspects of streaming you can do now. They're trying to do where you can do a vertical and horizontal at the same time, and all this other stuff. But I just got a notification. I finally have YouTube courses available where I can make courses. So I'm going to be doing some courses, you know, basic intro to Tunisian, really, and then I want to do a course on color changing. What else? I want to do a course on decrease and increase, how you can make shapes and all that happy stuff. But that's going to be a little bit down the line because we got other stuff. I've got a lot of other stuff I want to work on, and then me and Panda are actually working on a joint project right now. Only a few people know what it is because they're helping. And then I'm going to be writing a graph book or a diagram book for Tunisian. Show the symbols, tell what they mean, and show you with yarn how to do that symbol. Kind of like a diagram encyclopedia thingy that I want to do, because I feel that if a lot more people can read diagrams, they can visually see what the pattern is supposed to be versus just reading it. Yay, 16 months. Thank you, Amber. Oh, Barbara, all you had to do is just ask, and, you know, I'm sorry, Sandy, that it cut you out. I know I did plan on having a fifth. Ooh, I didn't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the last round already. A 52-week crochet along that was just going to be what we were calling the busybody. I'm still going to do it, but it's not going to happen this year or this coming year, because with that 2-month flare up, what I had planned to do was I was going to get most of the blanket, the squares done, or the sections done for that blanket, but I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't sit here to film it. There was just no way, so I had to postpone it. But I do have a lot that's going to be coming out. As soon as this Christmas stuff's done, it's going to be blanket heaven. I've got Jewel of the Rhine that I'm going to be doing as soon as I finish this stuff, all the Christmas stuff. Then I will have, well, Most Store, which is my next Irish-inspired pattern. That is going to take me a little bit longer because it's going to be complicated. I'm going to break it up into like a mini crochet along, really. And then there was another one I wanted to do, but I'm going to start putting out a bunch of, like, I'll be working on Pineapple Express and a few other patterns that I have that are kind of spring oriented. And then Saggy Granny. Saggy Granny is going to be my next shawl. I figured out the stitch that I wanted to use for the Saggy Granny. And it's going to look, it's saggy. But the whole book things, they're gonna be ebooks, well, PDFs really. I mean, we don't know how to do anything else. I've been creating the stitches in Adobe Illustrator like Mikey does. I've been creating the Tunisian stitches that way. Uh-oh. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, this is 7. I'm not where I need to be yet, sorry. I'm getting confused. But they're going to be, you know, just PDF style. That's the only way we know how to do it and make it accessible. And they'll be on the Etsy store. Kind of, I guess you could say, self-published in a way. And yeah, because I know I want to do one eventually that has all 523 stitches that I have. That one will take a hot minute to make. But I know in the meantime, I want to do, you know, other books too, like beginner and the well, an intro, I guess you could say, and then I want to do one that has nothing but, let's say, Tunisian and round type blankets, because I figured out how to do a Tunisian stained glass like this, and that's what whenever I work up that circle, I want to play with the stained glass on that, see if I can turn that whole circle into a stained glass. And then I have my Persian tile blanket I want to do, but I need to find the right yarn. I'm not really finding yarn that I know I want to use for that. It's just, I don't know. I do like some of the yarns, but they're not fitting the idea, if that makes sense. And all the yarn that I do have, minus the mystery stuff that we do get periodic sometimes, 95% of the yarn I do have is already earmarked for all these other different projects I have on my dry erase stuffs. So it gets kind of, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Welcome back, Sandy. Hey, Darth Mom, sorry I didn't say hi to you. And then whenever, because what I do is, I wish I could explain how I, oh my gosh, let me, where am I? I know I'm in the right spot now. How many? Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I gotta back out. Pull this back by 1 beep, and that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now we'll do the kludzy-offy. But different project books too. That's what I want to do. And, you know, just, that's what I want to do. I need to get my website fixed up because it's just sitting there. I mean, I paid for the domain and everything. It's mine. I need to do something with it. I just don't know what, you know. At one point, we thought about putting my patterns on it, and that's how we would do it. But then it's like, then we have to advertise. Then we have to do all this other stuff. Transactions, deal with all that. So paying extra fees. And with Etsy, you know, you set your advertising limit. They do everything for you. So, you know, I think we'll just stick with Etsy for a while. I know I'm probably going to be putting some yarn up on Etsy here, probably within the next, I don't know, couple weeks. And it's all the big twist, not big twist. It's nothing big twist. Michael, don't get people hopes up. It's the Lucky Brand Bamboo. I personally do not like working with it. And I've got 70 plus cakes of it. So we're probably going to be putting it up on Etsy as well. I personally just don't like working with it. And I know if I don't like working with it, I know Penn doesn't like working with it, so might as well, instead of it taking up space here, because it is a little bit heavier yarn, so I couldn't do a giveaway because it weighs more. I'd say like it would take 5 regular skeins of this yarn to equal the weight of one of those. Okay, Steve's girl, I'm glad you're back though. What did I miss? Let me scroll up. Sorry, let me get my mails. And I'm glad that today's the first day you didn't wake up dizzy. And that is very awesome, Michi. I mean, I used to wake up, I don't know, like when I first had my gallbladder taken out, I always woke up dizzy for, I want to say it was like a good 2 to 3 months. And then whenever I was taking, before the VA started treating my actual pain, they kept saying, oh, you got high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure because I'm in pain all the time. They were giving me like high blood pressure medication. That stuff always made me dizzy when I'd wake up. I'd feel nauseatedly dizzy. And I just flat out quit taking it. And they finally decided, oh, we're going to treat your pain. And then it's like, oh, you have normal blood pressure. Well, no crap, Sherlock. And I saw that, Michi, and I was wondering what happened. And that was weird. Hi, Ivy, sweetheart. That was pretty weird. I really do think it's a lot of the rollouts that they're trying to do for creators. The, you know, dual streaming and where they merge the 2 chats together. And I really do think it's a lot of that. And new UI interface updates. He's doing good. He's at work right now. His back, it was bothering him pretty bad yesterday. He got sent home from work. And And then today he's feeling okay. He's at work right now. He had to fend for himself on dinner, but that's fine. We had some leftover pot roast, and that's what he had for dinner, because I didn't get I had plans to make tacos yesterday. But that's going to be dinner today, because I'm probably not going to sleep until this flare up lessens up a little bit more, because right now it does feel like I broke my leg, but I have a high pain tolerance, and I can deal with this a little bit more than I could that last one that I went through, because that last one I went through, that made it feel like I was having knee surgery all over again without being knocked out and without anesthesia and pain meds. It hurt like a dickens. But so that's the 13 squares, and the way that they're going to be laid out, I think that's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3. 13. The way that they're going to be laid out is they'll make a stocking, and I hope it works the way I have in my head. Yeah. Okay, Michi, enjoy your lunch. I'm going to be heading out too. I need to use the restroom and make sure the meat that I did lay out the meat. But I want to thank you all for being here for the past hour plus. Love you all very much, and I will see y'all next time. And I can't say when that is. I really have no idea when that will be. But thank you for being here. Thank you all for being patient, and just thank you all for everything. Love y'all very much. Y'all take care. Have a good day and a great weekend.